Atonement for Me, Episode 73, Post Film 5. Hey Magical Misfits, it's Caden Ivy and welcome back to Atonement for Me. Last week I was talking about preparing for our Film 5 film, A Walk in the Sun. It was written by Nikki Martin and it was directed by Toby Martin. So we are just winding down from that. I love working on Film 5 sets just because with the mentorship program, it's a really good refresher for myself being on set to break down all the things that I do, why I do them. Is this the best way to do it, and kind of correct any poor behavior that I may have picked up along the way. Learn the new things that they are teaching because I haven't been in school for what I do for several years now. So it's always nice to know what new things, what new procedures are available, and also what we're doing about COVID, because that's always a fun time. As a makeup artist and as wardrobe, we are the only departments that deal with bodily fluids on set. So tears, snot, coughing, blood sweat, sometimes people throw up or what have you. It's usually around hair, makeup, and wardrobe. And in that sense, it is doubly important for our jobs to be as sanitary as possible. And sometimes COVID procedures don't always allow for that. So that has definitely been one of the most challenging things being on set during the pandemic, but also relaying that to an intern who hasn't been on set from before. And now there's all these procedures that can shift from set to set, but just kind of giving them a really good handle on what is expected of them and what is now sneaking into our new norm. Goodness me, my brain is so foggy. Sometimes it's just a whole bunch of running around, making sure that you have absolutely everything that you could possibly think of that you do need on set, especially since we had we were only shooting for the 2 days in the weekend, but we had multiple locations. So prepping for everything, and with the last minute cast change, it was kind of a scramble to get wardrobe together just through email and making sure that everything is fitted correctly and looking like what we need. Our main character, Eden, she's very artsy. She's confident in herself. She's confident in her art in a way that I know Eden. I know Eden inside and out. And I really connected with that character. So bringing that look to life, I ended up incorporating quite a few of my own wardrobe pieces just because they had a little bit more of that flow, that fabric presence, just to give her a little bit more of that almost whimsical, hopeful, free spirit. Whereas for her counterpart, her lover in this story, Jack, is very straightforward, very basic, straight lines, straight kind of blue colors, doesn't really expand on like the blue neutral tone, whereas Eden is more earth tones. She's got the gold, she's got like the peacock kind of colors, she's got more of that richness. And because both the writer and the director really wanted the emotions of this scene to be kind of encapsulated in what they were wearing, it was really important for me to make sure that was mirrored and that entire image could be visually possible. So it was back and forth with my wardrobe pieces that I have around, because I have many, and with the actors of what they had at home, and then bringing that to set. So my intern Jen and I would make sure that there's no creases, there's no labels showing, everything is as it should be on set. So if there's any dirt, if there's any wrinkles, if there's any tears, those are intentional. That is character. That is what it's supposed to be, especially for a short film where we have a lot of close-ups and inserts to drive that emotion and that plot point in a more abstract way. It was really important to have those colors pick up on those details and really kind of drive that the story and the painting and her art are interchangeable, so that you can see that no matter where she is or what she touches, Eden knows herself. And the central theme is really that divide between Eden's world as a BIPOC woman and Jack's world as a white man. And I wanted it to have that same visual contrast when they were on set, and when they were on camera, so that it is a subconscious read, sort of full painting inception, because I used a lot of the colors that are in the painting also in the wardrobe to kind of tie everything together. When I was making the painting for this particular film, I thought about all of the conversations and arguments that I had had with Tyler and any previous partner around that central divide, and that lost in translation when your worlds are so different. And I put that into the painting for this film, because Tyler loved movies more than anybody, almost anyone I know. And he was always talking about them and always quoting them. And it was like the coolest thing to him ever that I actually worked on them, and I was involved in that world. And he never really got to see that part of me. He never got to be a part of that world with me. And I never got to paint him the picture that I promised I would. And so I kind of brought all of that to drive me for this film, which is how I got so emotionally invested and so passionate about this film, because so many other people can extrapolate the exact same emotions and kind of translate them to their worlds. On set, it was making all of these little components and compartments come to life and dance. Doesn't matter what happened in pre-planning, doesn't matter what we've geared up for, whatever's going to happen on the day is going to happen on the day, and we've just got to roll with it. So there were COVID scrambles, there were timing and location scrambles. There was always hiccups along the way, especially when everybody's learning But what I love about Film 5 is watching other people problem solve out loud so that I can understand how other people think and find solutions with them. And I found that working with the first AD, Nicole Close, no matter what set she's on, she is so inspirational. She's so quick on her feet. She's so good at organizing and scheduling and motivating that I know I'm not an AD. I'm not an AD material, but I learn so much from her just watching her in her department. And because everybody else around is explaining and breaking things down to their trainees, I'm also learning things that I didn't know about other departments that I'd never even thought to be aware of because I'd been so focused in my department. So learning different things about how certain lighting setups are beneficial, nobody actually usually sits down to explain those things like out loud to people. We know that's lighting, but learning how and why is easier to make things in your department work with that lighting or whatever department you happen to be working with. So I find that everybody's always constantly apologizing on set for learning, but it's so helpful that they learn because we learn with them. And these are all the new talent. What do they know? Where are their dreams going? What are their ideas? What is important to them? All of this I find super, super refreshing and really, really nice to explore in a more relaxed setting where it's kind of like summer camp. Like, we're all here for this one project. We all have different things, but in the end of the day, we're gonna eat, breathe, eat, sleep, and breathe each other until this is done. And then we go home and go on to the next one. So pretty much that's how every set is. But in this one, I find that it's just, well, in any of the Film 5s, because I've done quite a few now, and coming off of those sets, you feel really good about the things that you have learned and the people that you have interacted with. And I find it's a lot more positive to take those things away from those sets than it is just being like, okay, we're wrapped. Whew, thank God. Peace. We'll see you when we see you again kind of thing. So it's a different vibe, but it's all driven by so much heart. And that's just the tea.